attempt to take my life. I wanted to commit suicide at the ripe age of 20 because I arrived at a sort of 0 hour, if I may call it like that. There was nothing for me. I was stuck in Berlin on my way to Paris. I couldn't get there because I had no money. I promised to come back with some money and then give concert again. I couldn't afford it anymore. I was in a hotel in Berlin, which after a few weeks I couldn't pay anymore for my room. The woman I loved very much, who was married and promised to divorce and marry me, didn't, and broke up with me. I didn't dare to speak about it to my parents, and so I was completely cut off from them. Nobody knew where I was. Well, I tried to commit suicide, and I still live. It didn't go. Some things I tried to hang myself with broke, and I fell on the floor, and then I was unhappy. Then I played the piano. Then I was very hungry, and when I walked into the street, I was born again in a way. I was giving up my life, and then I came back to it. Well, this coming back was a very strange one, because I suddenly realized quite clearly what a fool I was before. That life is not at all depending on things like not paying a hotel, or like a woman who might leave you, or like the career being stopped. Life is what it gives you. It's in front of you.
Do you believe in God?
Of course I believe, but my God is not a gentleman with a beard. It is a power. It is an incredibly extraordinary power. I was preoccupied all my life, and I still am, with the one question which matters. One single question matters. What are we here for? Who made it? Who started it? Nobody has ever had a glimpse and the slightest idea why it started. It started with laws of religion. They right away were dominating us. They were governing us. They were telling us this is right, this is wrong. You must believe in this. You must believe in God. I'm glad to believe, but there must be a sign too. There must be something to show us why and what. Well, you cannot say that an earthquake which kills thousands of people, children, wives and so on, is a thing which God made for the good of humanity. Somebody asked me the other day, do you believe in a life after your death? It was a very plausible question. I said, I do not think, I don't believe in it. But if there is a life after our death, of course I will be delighted. It would be a wonderful thing. But if I believe there is a life and found that there is nothing, that I'm simply a crushed animal because I had it, my life is over altogether, well, I would be very disappointed if I could express it then. Well, in any case, I think that my consideration is it's not too wrong. I think there's something in it, don't you think? Well, that is my conception. But as I come to the moment where I believe that what we really have got, what we have gotten, what is ours, is what we have, life. People who think that happiness is to laugh all the time and to enjoy a good cutlet or beefsteak, and go to bed nicely and so on, and fine, and win at the game, something like that. This is stupid. It is stupid. There is nothing in it. Is that once a contrast, they don't enjoy it. Well, I don't know. That's not life. Life is bite into it, to take absolutely as it is.
Can I ask you this? What emotion do you feel when you contemplate that death is going to extinguish so rare a machine as you are, a computer with so much heart and so crammed with music and experience? What do you feel?
I didn't give it much thought. There is such a thing which I do believe. There is a word which I feel it's not ever clear to anybody. You know, we use in every language the word soul easily. L'âme in French. Every language uses it. And we don't know what it is really, where to place it. And I think this thing is in us, the metaphysical power somehow, which just emanates. You know, I feel that always, as I told you before, in my concerts. We don't give it much thought, but there is something floating, there is something unknown around us in there, that is. And I think that that has no place to disappear. So after our death, if we had an amount of it in us somewhere or something, it's around. I remember once on a very rainy day in London, this great singer, Amy Destin, asked me very, well, let's say innocently, you know, how did Chopin play? Well, of course, I didn't hear Chopin play at all and so on. So I can only imagine something. I was just going to tell her, oh, look here, I mean, they would ask me such silly questions. But somehow, by some instinct, I went to the piano, you know, and played a little piece of Chopin which I never played in concerts. And it was me who played. I played that piece through, and we both were getting a little pale, you know. I wasn't playing it myself, you know. I felt that. I wouldn't have played it like that. Make what you out of it, you know. I give it just to say, the moment of my life. Well, that's it.
We're also going to hear you play the Saint-Saëns G minor concerto, which you've described in the past as your war horse. Could you tell us what you feel about that piece of music?
Well, it was my war horse. You know, I will tell you, it was the very first difficult piece with orchestra after Mozart, which I played with love and so on, but which was somehow accessible to me technically and so on. And this one was a difficult piece to master. And I was very proud to play it off rather well with great gusto, you know, with great elan. And it became my war horse because everybody seemed to like it. And it was a sure success if I didn't play it too badly on some occasion. So you see, I could count on it always. And you know, it became, of course, a very close and dear friend of mine. I'm very fond of it. And then I must tell you, again, musically, it has many things to be said about it. I mean, good things to be said. And I must quote again a composer that will astonish again my listeners. Ravel, Maurice Ravel, who did the most fantastic orchestrations. We all admire his orchestrations so very much. Told me, he was a friend of mine, I asked him once, where did you get that fantastic art of orchestrating? And everything sounds so marvelously. It's a mysterious sound that you produce. He said, you will be very astonished from the G minor piano concerto of Saint-Saëns, because it's the most marvelously orchestrated piece of music I know. This I heard said by Ravel. It means quite a lot for this Saint-Saëns concerto, I think. I couldn't do anything better than that.